can't believe we are at the end of the series of Christ Revealed, episode number 9. You know, Patrick, you talked about saving some of the most compelling, the most life-changing interviews to the very last episode. So tell us, what can we expect from this?
Well, you can expect a lot. There is a dense amount of very powerful content in our episode 9 here. We start out with Dr. Eli Shukron, and Eli is the person who discovered the pool of Siloam. The pool of Siloam is something very significant biblically because this is one of the great miracles that's best known that Christ performed, where we had a blind man who he had come across when he was by the temple in Jerusalem, and the blind man asked, why am I like this? Am I being punished? And Christ had an amazing message for him, and he asked the blind man to go down to the pool of Siloam after rubbing mud on his eyes and said, wash this mud off and you will see. And sure enough, the blind man saw after this. Now, many of the skeptics said, well, it's never really been found, this pool of Siloam. We think it's sort of a myth. It doesn't really exist. And there was some speculation about where it might exist. But Eli discovered the actual pool of Siloam not that long ago, so it's a very recent discovery. And not only do we discuss this, but we actually take a walk and go right into the pool of Siloam. So it's a very, very moving thing. It's something that has biblical significance. It's very inspiring. It also adds to the evidence that we've been covering all through the Christ Revealed series. Next, we have my interview with Governor Mike Huckabee. What an amazing human being. Someone who did not hide his faith while he was running for the most powerful office in the land, the presidency of the United States. Sincere individual, powerful faith, and I have to tell you that there's a new dimension to understanding what it means to walk in faith when you're a very public person, especially when you're competing for a very powerful office. So you're going to be riveted by that interview. And then we conclude episode 9 with my interview with Eli Shukron. And I have to tell you, Eli has got an amazing story. He grew up as a hippie in the United States. How he came to faith is something you just have to listen to that story. But then he went to Israel, and he's been there for decades, and also as a part of his journey in Israel, had his church firebombed. So you want to talk about somebody who really had to go through a lot of trials and tribulations based on his faith. This is a great interview to end our final episode 9 with. So I really look forward to jumping into this with you. Make sure that you dive all the way into it. You're going to get a lot out of it. Soak it up. I look forward to this experience with you. Here's what's really amazing, and it goes to the craziness of Jerusalem. Yeah. Is that the pool is cited in the Bible, so it's talked about, so people know about it. Yes. And people have such a thirst to have an experience with it, and they think the location is somewhere else, and they're almost they go there to basically try to see if they can connect with that part of history in the pool where the miracle was performed. Yes, of course, to connect the experience that was there. And of course, in the general area, they're right, but then you just happen to be doing work somewhere else, and suddenly it appears. And this is what I'm saying. This is suggesting God. It's mean when God wants us to found the pool of Siloam, we found it. This is what's happened. We found it in 2004, not 1900 no. This is the time that we need to find it, and we found it. And this is amazing that that you cannot connect the Bible, the story, with this place. It's amazing. And we're looking at the history and then the evidence. So there's a historical record in the Bible of this place, and there is only a guess as to where it might be, but it was never found. Yeah. But as you continue to dig, it starts to validate what's in the Bible, saying that what's written here is accurate, and it's true. This is it. It's meant that when we talk about the pool of Siloam, this is the real pool of Siloam that's mentioned in the Bible. Right. And this is amazing to do that connection. Yeah. So even thousands of years later, here we are still finding things that as you find more, it just brings more to life what was written thousands of years ago. I just want to tell you something. We cannot prove everything by doing excavation. Right. For example, I cannot prove that blind man washed his face. Right. But I can prove the place. Right. The details, the small detail that mentioned in the Bible, it's real or not? It's real. Yes. The name of the pool
mentioned in the Bible. This is real Pool of Siloam. It's fantastic. For example, and then what I start to do the excavation on the road and to connect the pool with the Western Wall, with the temple, because this is what the people want, the experience. And what I start to do, I found that road that going to the temple.
Wow.
And why that road? It's important because a lot of people was walking there in that time. All the rabbi, Jesus disappears. All the people was walking, and I believe that the people knew the Pool of Siloam because they came to Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not a big city; it's a small city.
Yeah.
You know everything what's happening in Jerusalem. So this from one hand, but in the other hand, when Jesus talking with the blind man, told him, "Go to the Pool of Siloam." The blind man was walking to the Pool of Siloam. Which way? Why? It was flying to the Pool of Siloam? No, it was walking on the street. So where is that street? That street.
Wow.
It's
So
we're talking about the street that connected the pool. We're talking about the street that connected to the temple. We're talking about the pool that was the miracle was there. John chapter 9. We talk about the blind man walking back to the temple. So all that, this is the connection. And this is amazing because the finding, the small detail that mentioned that say the Pool of Siloam, the street, give you alive the Bible.
And you see, and that's where it really comes to life, right?
Yeah.
Because, as we sit here, you say, well, here's the pool here. This is where the blind man had his miracle with Jesus.
Yeah.
But then you're saying, well, the temple is sort of like, as I experience it here, it's across the street over there, in that direction.
Yeah.
But now you excavate and find, here's the road. This is the way they would have walked. This is the connection between the temple and the pool. And it brings more of the actual history to light.
Yeah. It's the pool mentioned also in the Jewish rabbinic sources. So we can the celebration in Tabernacle time, the feast of the water that was they took in the water from the Pool of Siloam and put it on the altar before the winter. We're talking about this time, we were in this time here. We're close to the Tabernacle time. So this is the experience that the people can do when they are coming here.
Yeah, and it's different. I mean, I've read about these things before, but it's very different when you stand amongst it, when you're here with it.
This is like you say, you make the Bible alive and you give to the people to understand what the Bible talk about. Okay, he put the mud on his eyes, he told him to go to the Pool of Siloam. Why, jumping? No, he would walk here. He was in the Pool of Siloam, he was washing his face, he's walking to the temple. You can see it, he's here, it's around that. The Rabbani going to the temple, the pilgrimage people going to the temple, they're going from the pool to the temple. This is part of the life of the people. For us, it's something very, very fascinating. For them, in that time, it's simple. This is what they're doing. This is what they used to do. Going to the pool, purify themselves, ritual bath, clean themselves, going to the temple, sitting here, talking there, groups from the Galilee, groups from Alexandria. This is the life. And this is what's happened in Jerusalem in these days.
Yes.
In these days, because we are very close to our holidays.
There's something else you want to talk about that's very interesting relative to the high priest. What's that?
Yeah. Look, we're talking about the high priest, we're talking about the temple, we talk about Mount Moriah. What is the most important place in the temple? The most important place in the temple is the Holy of the Holy.
Yes.
Today, what left from the Holy of the Holy? Nothing.
Right.
Everything destroyed by the Romans in 70 AD. In my excavation close to the Western Wall, in the foundation of the Western Wall, in the tunnels there, I found very, very, very important finding. I found the golden bell.
What, the golden?
Golden bell.
Bell.
Yeah, bell.
Okay.
And the golden bell, it looked like a ball, like a ball. But it's very, very interesting because when I touched it, I didn't understand that this is a bell. When I shake it, I heard the sound. Okay, and when I heard the sound, I understand. Oh, I say golden bell. Everyone say, oh, the high priest golden bell, because when you go to Exodus 28, they describe the dress of the high priest. When they describe the dress of the high priest, talking about the golden bell in the bottom of his garment, and 72 golden bell, but he's talking about golden bell and pomegranate. Golden bell and pomegranate, they say a golden bell inside, in the pomegranate. It's very interesting to talk about, but what we have in the temple, we have the Holy of the Holy. Who's going inside to the Holy of the Holy?
I was going to say only the high priest.
High priest.
Yes.
Once a year. We're very close to this day. In Hebrew, we say Yom Kippur.
Yom Kippur, yeah.
Just in this day, when you go into the Holy of the Holy, what we have in the Holy of the Holy? We have the gate to the heaven.
Yes.
and we have the Spirit of God there, because today, in that time, we don't have the Holy Ark of the Covenant there, because somewhere in the end of the First Temple period, it disappeared.
Yes.
So the Holy of the Holy in that time, it's empty. But the Spirit of God is there. Because we know from Josephus Flavius about the general Pompeius, the Roman general, that came directly inside to the Holy of the Holy because he thought that going to find the treasure, it's nothing.
Right.
And God, what's the Jewish people? They're crazy people. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
But you don't understand that for us, the Spirit of God, to get to the heaven, that's what we need. What's happened, the high priest was walking inside to the Holy of the Holy with that in golden bell inside. And getting the Spirit of God and get to the heaven. So if we want to say today, what's finding that we know that was in the Holy of the Holy, this is the golden bell that I found in my excavation. So it's amazing to understand that this was there in the Holy of the Holy before 2,000 years ago.
That's it for this particular interview. Thanks for joining me. Really excited to take this ongoing journey with you as we keep bringing more content. If you haven't already, you really should subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of phenomenal content coming down the road into the future that you'll want to know about. Leave a comment down here. I think people would love to hear from you, and then you can hear from them too. If you liked it, go ahead and give a like. It only takes half a second, and share this with people that you care about. The world needs more light in it right now. So thanks for being with me. Hope to connect with you again soon.